is it as dire or severe as the markets would make them out to be?
Yeah, I think it does. It is severe. We don't want any conflict there. We want things to settle. In my space, in my universe, it does not affect. Normally, in the early stage companies, I don't think they are exposed to Huawei and other areas. So I think in that sense, but overall, on the tech environment, I think they need to do it right. I mean, Huawei is a big supplier. It's a good company. It helps the U.S. in many areas. But I think they just need to play it right, and that's what the Trump administration is doing. But overall, I think it does not affect in the long term. We don't expect that to impact our universe.
All right, well, so this morning, we're also expecting to hear from Alphabet, Facebook, other tech companies as well with regard to how they can operate with the USTR in this environment right now, about the French government's new digital tax on big tech companies. This is something the U.S. has called unreasonable. So is there a global war on technology, not just here in the U.S., but also elsewhere as well?
There is. And let's see the tone of the meeting today, how it comes out. It's very important to get it right. The U.S. does not want this to become the template, the French tax, the template for other countries to follow. So I think they're going to fight it out. I think the benefits to other countries are a lot more than the negative impact of these guys. So I'm sure there is some compromise in there. OK, they have a case to make. The taxes, they don't pay as much taxes, or they pay taxes, low taxes in a low environment. Low tax environment. So there are some issues there, but I think it can be settled. What France is doing is really forcing the hand. They want the ball to move forward. I think that's what they're doing. So we'll see whether U.S. is not going to give up. There's going to be a backlash. Trump is going to fight back. So I think we'll wait and see how the tone of the conversation goes today. But overall, I think U.S. needs to fight back. Does not want this to be the template for other countries to follow.
Sure. Fair enough. We want to pivot you now to what's happening with Lyft. You're a major investor in the company. The company has its first major lockup expiration for selling shareholders today. What are you going to be doing at Manhattan Venture Partners? Are you going to be selling in this wave of lockup expirations?
No, we're not. We've been early investors, and we are long-term investors. We believe in the story. We believe it's a transformational story. You have to wait. It's not a one-quarter, two-quarter story, so you really have to wait it out. You're talking about a transformation in transportation as a service, so that's going to take some time. But what's good about this and what investors can take heart on is the last 2 quarters coming off the gate. Lyft executed very well. They said the competition is rationalizing, the pricing is rationalizing, and they have a more clear path to profitability, which it's going to take some time, but they have said the losses are coming down, revenues are growing, the network is growing, so they're doing the right thing. So I think overall, there's enough to go. You'll see some pullback. On average, our portfolio companies have pulled back about 3 to 4%, and they've come back right away. So I wouldn't worry about it. There's a lot of supply coming in, and it's understandable for a pullback, but nothing to worry about.
Speaking of more supply, I mention it because Uber's got a lockup expiry coming up later on this fall as well. From a competitive standpoint, you mentioned that dynamic, the path to profitability. Uber versus Lyft. In the end, you're obviously an investor in Lyft, but take us through that competitive dynamic and how much it weighs on your decisions as an investor.
And it did weigh originally. The reason we invested in Lyft because of its pure play focus. The unit economics are much stronger for ride sharing in North America, and Lyft did the right thing by choosing North America, staying here, and just focusing head on in ride sharing business. Now they're adding other micro mobility and all that. So their goal is to be an end-to-end transportation network here, and that's what they're doing. They have the resources. Uber is more spread out. It's a different model. It's a global model. There's competition everywhere. So they have to face different dynamics. It's going to take a lot more time. It's a great company, but it's going to take a lot more time. So you need a lot more patience with Uber. But we invested here because we thought they had a much clearer path to profitability, and their strategy is very good. They're executing very well.